Hi, this is Dr. Bob with Carolina Value Pet Care. Thanks for joining us today. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about food allergies. Now, for customers who have come to see me, for pet parents who've come to see me for their dog's skin problems, this is a common issue that does pop up. And we're going to talk a little bit more about food allergies and get you thinking if you think your dog or your cat might have food allergies. Now, I've been practicing for many years now, and I would have to say in the last 15 years, particularly the last 10 years, we've seen a pretty significant increase and continuing to in food allergies. Now, I've got my theories why, and I think a lot of it has to do with the way the foods are processed, antibiotics, things of that nature that are these GMO-based foods that we're putting into a lot of these products. Those are my theories. Don't have any scientific evidence of that. But why else would we be seeing more and more and more dogs and cats with food allergies? A couple things you need to know. When are we going to think of if your pet has a food allergy? First and foremost, if you're feeding the same dog food or the same cat food day after day, and your dog or cat is having an ongoing allergic reaction or some sort of, and that's going to manifest as biting, scratching, licking, itching, chewing, and it's a year-round problem, we're always going to think food allergies. Now, more specifically, it's going to involve more the front half of the body. With dogs, that probably means they're rubbing or scratching at the face or rubbing their face against the carpet on a regular basis. They're scratching at the ears or shaking their head, or we see recurring ear infections. They're constantly chewing at the front feet and the armpits. In many cases, we will also see it on the groin as well, right on their belly. So those are the primary areas for dogs. For cats, a little bit different, but it's going to primarily involve the ears and the face and the neck. We see these cats coming in and they have just ripped their neck or their face to ribbons to the point where they're oozing and bleeding and just really raw. And almost invariably, those cats have a food allergy. Now, dogs and cats are allergic to different things. The number one and number two causes for dogs, chicken and beef. Now, depending on the veterinary dermatologist that you follow, it might be beef or chicken. But beef and chicken are the number one and number two causes, or sort of 1A and 1B causes for food allergies in dogs. Number two for dogs, lower on the list would be things like lamb and wheat would be another consideration. Lower still on the list would be brown rice, soy, corn, and pork. Pork is now starting to show up. Pork is usually going to be in the form of like pig's ears, things of that nature. We don't find too many pork-based dog foods, but we are seeing more and more problems with pork showing up. Cats, a little bit different. I mentioned chicken and beef for dogs, but cats is primarily beef, dairy, and fish. Now, here's the good news for dogs. We've got lots of other choices of proteins that we're looking to feed our dogs, and we've got a wide range. More commonly, if you go to the supermarket to get your food, salmon or whitefish are commonly available. For cats, if you go to a pet store, you can find trout, catfish, venison, rabbit, kangaroo, goat, and ostrich. For cats, we don't have so many choices. As I mentioned, the three primary causes for food allergies in cats are beef, dairy, and fish. And they account for about 80% of all our food allergies in cats. So what do we have available? Well, try chicken. You can try rabbit. You can try, if you can find a venison food for cats, that would also be a suitable choice as well. But again, our choices are going to be much more limited for cats than they are for dogs. But you really got to become a label reader. Especially when it comes to dogs, we have a tendency to give a lot of treats to our dogs. And treats can matter just as much as the dog foods. So we need to avoid anything with chicken. We need to avoid anything with wheat being in pizza crust and cookies and dog treats. We want to avoid anything with beef. That means no rawhides or steak scraps. We also want to avoid dairy, so that means no cheese. I know I could hear the collective groan right now. No cheese. Because again, dairy, actually I should have mentioned dairy is one of the other primary causes for dogs as well. So you've got to be very intentional about what you do and do not feed your dog. You can give treats to your dog, and I highly recommend vegetables. Anything from carrots to cherry tomatoes to zucchini, things of that nature, absolutely fine. If you want to give fruit, you can try apples or a little bit of a banana or blueberries. Do stay away from grapes. They can be toxic. Grapes and raisins can be toxic to dogs, so just avoid those entirely. So that's kind of an overview of what you can feed. Unfortunately, here's the real frustration for veterinarians. We do not have a reliable test for food allergies. So the only way we can try to identify if they have a food allergy is going through a food allergy trial and get them on one of these diets that are completely different from what they were getting before. Get them away from beef, get them away from chicken, get them away from dairy and lamb and pork and so forth. Another important consideration with food allergies, unfortunately, a lot of these dogs that have food allergies also have a seasonal and environmental allergy. So if you change that dog's diet and the dog has a seasonal allergy, guess what? You're not going to see any benefit from the dietary change. Why? Because they're biting, scratching, licking, itching, chewing from the seasonal issues, the pollens, the dust, the molds, the mildews, the weeds, the grasses. So we generally need to find that time of year when they're significantly less likely to be exposed to seasonal allergies. And that's usually in winter, but it's certainly still worth trying throughout the year. Change the diet, at least get something that's going to be significantly less likely to cause an allergic reaction if we have reasonable suspicion of your dog or cat having a food allergy. So a lot of information in a short period of time. We have handouts which have more details and go at a little bit slower pace than I'm going right now, but we'd love to help your pets if you have some allergy issues with your pets. And to come to one of our events, go to our website, CarolinaValuePetCare.com. You'll find our schedule, and we hope to see you soon. Thanks, and make it a great day.